Hey everyone, welcome to Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Now in this video, I'm going to discuss more from the fandom interview of Radio Silence from a few days ago, and specifically more about Kirby and their decision to make it official that she is alive. Let's do it. Now, before we get into the interview discussion, it is important that I first recap what happened in Scream 5 that has stirred up all of this excitement and has left us as fans to contemplate what is next for Kirby and the franchise moving forward. So, during this scene in Scream 5 where Richie is eating his pizza and watching Stab on his laptop, you'll notice to the right of the screen under the recommended video section of YouTube, this image. The title of the video is Interview with Woodsboro Survivor Kirby Reed. So we know without any question whatsoever that Kirby is indeed alive and survived the stabbing of Charlie in Scream 4. Now, it's never been a question in my mind that she is alive, because Wes Craven said that she survived and even that it had made a slight movement before the camera left her character for the last time in Scream 4. So Wes already had stated she was alive, so I've always believed that, but I'm very happy that Radio Silence has honored the canon that Wes wanted in relation to Kirby, and I hope they continue to do this with other characters from the past as well. Okay, on to the interview. So during the interview of Radio Silence just a few days ago on Fandom's website, the fandom team brought up the topic of Kirby. They asked Radio Silence the following. So let me ask you about Richie's YouTube screen and the Easter egg reveal informing us that Kirby from Scream 4 survived. How did you decide to sneak that in, and can we hope maybe we might see her again at some point? So Tyler from the Radio Silence team responded by saying, it was always something where we knew there was an opportunity to provide an answer to that question. Certainly spending time on Twitter and Reddit, we know the Justice for Kirby movement is a very real thing. As fans of that character, we all have a real soft spot for Kirby and love the idea that her story didn't end in 4. We had originally had a conversation with Hayden Panettiere and talked about some other ways to answer that question in this movie. I think at the end of the day, what we found was that because of the level of love and respect we have for Kirby, it would have felt weird to bring her back and just do something small, and that it would actually distract you. If you had a scene that wasn't a satisfying Kirby scene, then you'd spend the rest of the movie going blank. When is she going to come back? When am I going to get the thing I expect to have from this character? And so it made more sense to just provide a little nod to her on that YouTube page. And who knows where that character goes next. So here we see Tyler just coming out and saying, hey, we spend time on Reddit and Twitter as filmmakers, and we know that there is basically this enormous legion of fans that are championing the Justice for Kirby movement, and that they owed it to the fans to address what happened to Kirby in terms of her surviving or not. Now, I absolutely love this. Some directors would not care one bit about these type of issues or concerns from the fans. They just don't. But the fact is, Radio Silence has proven their fandom of Wes Craven and the Scream franchise by, first of all, even knowing that this was the thing out there among us hardcore fans online. That's number one. And number two, to actually act on it and not just be aware and yet ignore it. I appreciate them very much for being these type of filmmakers. And if they were not genuine fans of Wes and the films, they would just make their movie and collect their check and check all the boxes that need to get checked, and that would be it. You know, these type of peripheral matters over here on the outliers, they would not even be on their radar. But the fact that they are on their radar, and that fact that that's happening, it means a lot to me personally as a diehard Legacy Scream fan and I almost essentially lifelong Wes Craven fan. This really does mean a lot to me. And so I hope it means a lot to you guys too, to realize that these guys do care. They're not Wes Craven. Their movie's not going to be a Wes Craven movie. We have to accept that. We have to understand that because Wes unfortunately is gone. But we have Scream 1 through 4 for that Wes Craven film that we all love. But we got to understand, in terms of someone taking over the franchise and moving forward, I want guys like this. I mean, this is who I want. I don't want just a director who's hired to come in that has no affinity for Wes or the history, that, you know, they're just doing a job. And that could have so easily have happened, but it didn't happen, guys. We have guys here in Radio Silence. All three of them are really fans. They care about these things. So it's the most I could ask for as a fan, is just put somebody in that seat that at least understands the franchise, respects it, they enjoy it, and they respect Wes and understand him. If you have that, then you know what? I will learn to adjust my expectations accordingly, and then also learn to accept their film style, their way of making movies. So anyway, enough about that. But it's true. I think it's a valid point. So anyway, Tyler ends the interview by saying this: I think one of the things that creates a real rich fandom, and again, we're considering ourselves a part of that, is the off-screen story of these movies and wondering what happens to these characters when the camera stops rolling. We've always loved thinking about, like, where's Kirby's life at? What do you do as a survivor after something like that? Honestly, it was a big question with the Legacy cast in this one. It was one of the things we were most looking forward to when we were reading the script. Where are the blank are Dewey, Sid, and Gale? And what are they up to? Where are they 10 years later? That off-screen story is something that we think is really vital to creating this kind of vibrant universe, and certainly is something that we as fans really love to brainstorm on. So there you have it, guys. Once more, they themselves, again, love to brainstorm and think on these type of things that you and I do as well, because they're fans of the films, much like all of us. And with the incredible success of Scream 5 in the box office now, already surpassing 50 million US domestic already, I think it is a done deal for Scream 6. And I really want Radio Silence to return and continue imprinting their own style and DNA onto the franchise with even more freedom than they had in Scream 5, because the pressure is off of their shoulders now. And, you know, they made that movie after Wes passed away. They've made the first one. So that pressure is off of them now. And I think it's going to make a huge difference. So where does this leave us with Kirby? I mean, I think they did not make this move to just turn around and ignore it in 6. I mean, I think the groundwork has been established for Kirby to return in the next Scream film. And I love the possibilities that they could do with her character. I mean, I believe she would be an excellent mentor for Sam and Tara in the next movie. She could be there helping to figure out who's behind the murders, helping explain how she survived the murders, what she learned from her mistakes. All of those things could be in play. And she could also kind of be that same Sydney role that we saw in Scream 5. So if they decided that they were not going to bring Sydney back in 6, they could plug in Kirby to fill that kind of role, but she's also a legacy character. So we're getting connection to the past, back to Scream 4, but she could serve that same type of role. And I think it would be really interesting. So those are just some of my initial thoughts. But I want to know what you guys are thinking right now about Tyler's comments on Kirby, and what do you think the possibility of Kirby returning to the franchise is in Scream 6, and what kind of role do you think she will come back in if she does? I want to hear your opinions, your thoughts, your ideas, and theories all about Kirby, guys. So this is your opportunity. Let's just go Kirby crazy, and let's talk about some theories. Let's get some ideas out there. So leave your comments below right now so we can begin having a dialogue together as we always do on these videos, and I enjoy that so much. All right, well, that's it for this update. I will be back soon with more Scream and other horror movie content. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, this is Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Thank you for watching.